Today, we will engage in a debate to determine the precise location of the first cry of the Philippine Revolution. Group A will present arguments supporting Balintawak as the historic site, while Group B will advocate for Pugadlawin.
Over 3 centuries of Spanish control, the late 19th century in the Philippines was a time of burgeoning unrest and a genuine desire for independence. This period of heightened tension culminated in an iconic act of defiance known as the Cry of the Rebellion. Despite differing opinions, we stand firmly in agreement that it was held in Balintawak. The accounts of key figures such as Pio Valenzuela, Gregorio de Jesus, and Santiago Alvarez, as compiled in Zaida's 1990 collection, offer us a window into the complexities and controversies surrounding this historical moment. Valenzuela in particular provides a crucial narrative that initially places symbolic tearing of cedulas held in Balintawak on August 25, 1896, as stated by Zaida 1994. This act represented a definitive break from colonial rule and a powerful demonstration of unity and defiance against Spanish control. By examining the different perspectives and evidence in play, we can affirm that the defining act of defiance occurred in Balintawak. This assertion is supported by the facts that Balintawak was a well-known gathering place for the Katipunan and had a significant symbolic value for the revolutionaries, stated by Agoncillo 1956. Furthermore, we chose to support Balintawak because of the consistency in the testimonies of multiple key figures. For instance, Guillermo Masangkay's account explicitly states that Katipuneros gathered in Balintawak and tore their cedulas there, by Agoncillo 1956. This consistency among various sources strengthens the credibility of Balintawak as the location of the cry.
Thank you, Group Balintawak, for those wonderful facts. Now moving on to the opening statement of Group Pugadlawin.
Geographical and political context of the period must be considered. Pugadlawin, thought not officially recognized by the contemporary maps, but was a known locality where a key revolutionary activities occurred. The testimonies of various Katipunan's members, including Santiago, Alvarez, and Gregoria de Jesus, provide broader perspective that aligns with Pugadlawin as the site of the cry, by Alvarez 2013 and De Jesus 1998. We invite our opponents to consider the methodological rigor of historical research, which involves cross-referencing multiple sources and understanding the socio-political dynamics of the time. While Balintawak holds its place in history, the evidence pointing to Pugadlawin cannot be disregarded, by Constantino 1975. As we proceed with this debate, we aim to present a comprehensive argument that not only challenges of the assertions of Balintawak proponents, but also reinforce the significance of Pugadlawin in the narrative of our struggle for independence. Thank you.
Thank you, Group Pugadlawin, for those wonderful facts and opening statement. Let's now move on for the question and answer portion of the debate. Group Balintawak, kindly start your questions.
My question is, where's Pugadlawin in the first place? In the map of Manila at the time, there was no Pugadlawin until 32 years later the event was held. There was no official place named Pugadlawin in the records during that time.
We acknowledge that point of information that is being thrown at our side by the other party. However, we, the opposition, believe that the assertion that there was no Pugadlawin in the records during that time overlooks the historical context surrounding the naming and recognition of geographical locations during the late 19th century in the Philippines. While Pugadlawin may not have been an officially designated place on contemporary maps of Manila, historical evidence and oral traditions among local communities affirm its existence and significance. Pugadlawin, also known as Cock's Nest, is tied to the events of the Philippine Revolution, particularly the Cry of Rebellion in 1896, where again Katipunan members under Andres Bonifacio's leadership tore their cedulas as a symbol of defiance against Spanish colonial rule. Although not formally recognized administratively, Pugadlawin was a known locality within the broader area of Balintawak or Caloocan, where revolutionary activities were concentrated. Over time, through historical researches and other secondary accounts, Pugadlawin became recognized and commemorated as a pivotal site in Philippine history. Therefore, in totality, while it may not appear on contemporary maps, Pugadlawin's historical existence and significance are well supported by various sources beyond official records. Now, given this argument that we have stated, we also would like to throw a question to the positive side, which is how can the Balintawak side ensure the accuracy of their claim when historical accounts of the cry vary significantly? For example, historians like Teodoro Agoncillo have pointed out the discrepancies in accounts regarding the location of the cry. The variations in historical testimonies cast doubt on pinpointing Balintawak as the definitive site.
Well, the cry of Balintawak, which is can be referred to as the first clash between the Katipuneros and the civil guards and the tearing up of community tax certificates, is generally accepted to have happened on August 26, 1896. This version was initially reported by Dr. Pio Valenzuela to Spanish authorities soon after the event when the details were still fresh in his memory. Despite Dr. Valenzuela's later revision in his memoirs, placing the cry at Pugad Lawin on August 23, 1896, the August 26 date at Balintawak is the version most widely accepted by historians. It is important also to note that Pugad Lawin only existed 32 years later, which is also considered as part of Greater Balintawak. Now, my question for Pugadlawin, the second question is, how can you determine that Pio Valenzuela is a credible witness at that time? Other than his accounts, he's proven that he changes his statements frequently. Eyewitnesses are not always reliable and they can lie or change the story since each person has different perspectives and memory at that time. As a primary source, hence should have a backup to prove its claim.
Well, regarding the foregoing question from the positive side, while it is true that eyewitness accounts can vary and sometimes change over time, Pio Valenzuela's testimony is supported by multiple factors that lend credibility to his accounts. Firstly, Valenzuela was a prominent member of the Katipunan, closely associated with Andres Bonifacio and other key figures of the revolution. His active involvement in the movement and his proximity to the events in question provide a unique and informed perspective. Moreover, the testimonies of other Katipunan members and historical documents from the period corroborate many of Venezuela's accounts, despite minor inconsistencies, that is according to Alvarez 2013. Historical research often involves cross-referencing multiple sources to build a comprehensive picture, and Valenzuela's accounts are an important piece of puzzle. While no single eyewitness account is infallible, the consistency of Valenzuela's testimony with other evidence and accounts from the time adds to its reliability. That is according to Bloch 1954 and White 1987.
For our second question, what concrete documentary evidence can the Balintawak side present to unequivocally prove it was the location of the cry? Given the lack of specific official records, isn't it misleading to make such a claim without solid proof? Make many official records of the Spanish colonial period do not specifically mention Balintawak, leaving room for interpretation and further historical scrutiny.
Understandably, one might be skeptical of the event's exact location, whether it genuinely happened in Balintawak or Pugadlawin. Indeed, it can be complicated due to the scarcity of definite primary sources and eyewitness accounts. However, many reliable sources say that it would be likely Balintawak as the location. For instance, a thorough analysis by Borromeo argues that testimonies from participants such as Guillermo imply that the actual location happened in Balintawak. Eyewitness accounts stated that Balintawak was where the Katipuneros gathered and tore their cedulas. However, in Agoncillo's paper, Bonifacio's writing referred to Balintawak as where the cry happened. It also included other narratives from other revolutionaries that justified Balintawak as the location. Now, our third question for Group B. Why did Pio Valenzuela say that the cry was at Pugadlawin, 32 years after it was said to be in Balintawak?
Valenzuela's clarification in 1928 may have been influenced by the context in which he made his statement. By then, the political and social landscape of the Philippines had changed significantly. The American colonial government and the burgeoning national movement could have been prompted Valenzuela to ensure that the history of the revolution was accurately recorded for future generations. This context might have compelled him to specify Pugadlawin as the true site of the cry to align with broader historical understanding. Constantino 1976. We must consider the reliability of sources. Early accounts given closer to the actual event are often more reliable than those given decades later. While Valenzuela's later statement points to Pugadlawin, other primary sources and earlier testimonies support Balintawak as the site. Agoncillo, 1956.
Why do key figures from the Katipunan such as Pio Valenzuela have differing testimonies about the exact location if it was indeed Balintawak? The fact that even prominent members have conflicting statements suggests that the true location may not have been Balintawak. Pio Valenzuela himself mentioned both Balintawak and Pugadlawin in his various accounts. This inconsistency among primary sources weakens the argument for Balintawak as the exclusive site.
Although Pio Valenzuela's inconsistencies in his statements, the other eyewitnesses point the location clearly in Balintawak, specifically Kangkong, Caloocan. Another thing is Pugadlawin, in which Pio Valenzuela may also refer to, is the place that is located at Greater Balintawak, as seen in the map.
Okay, before we end the debate about where the first battle cry was held, Balintawak or Pugadlawin, let's summarize the discussion. The proponents of Balintawak argue that Pugadlawin was the part of the larger Balintawak area, thus categorizing the battle cry as being held in Balintawak. They point out that maps from 1896 do not show a place named Pugadlawin, and that the community of Balintawak initiated the revolution, reinforcing the idea that it was the location of the first cry. Moreover, other eyewitnesses besides Pio Valenzuela claimed it happened in Kangkong, Caloocan, part of Balintawak at the time. Additionally, Bonifacio's writing referred to the first battle cry as having taken place in Balintawak by Agoncillo, 1956. On the other hand, although Pugadlawin might not have been officially recognized by the name during the period, the location itself existed locally and was known by members of Katipunan as one of their bases. Hence the name Pugadlawin. While the area known as Balintawak existed at the time of the Philippine Revolution, it may not be the precise location of the first cry due to the different claims by eyewitnesses. Pio Valenzuela initially claimed that it was held in Balintawak when speaking to the Spaniards, possibly to protect the organization or Katipunan from reprisals. 32 years later, he asserted that the event took place in Pugadlawin at Bahay Toro, an area in the upper part of Balintawak, supporting the idea that might have lied to the Spanish soldiers to safeguard the Katipunan by Agoncillo 1956.